tonight on The Local Game, we will look at some of the big goals from the weekend, plus a massive cup set. Sees me head out to Corinna Reserve to catch up with the coach and the captain of the Sturt Lions. Plus Alessio has the latest on LA United's Adelaide Hills fixture. That's coming up tonight on The Local Game. Welcome to The Local Game. It is great to have you here with us for another week and, another great week of football as we head into episode 19. Alongside me, Johnny Keko. Joining me once again is Alessio Carrocci. Good to have you back, mate.
Glad to be here as well. Nice chilly afternoon here in Adelaide, but
it is. I've got the vest on, nice and warm. You got your hoodie.
Yeah, I got my trackies on as well. You can't see that on the camera,
No.
But it's definitely nice and warm in this studio.
It is, absolutely. I got a lot of football to talk about this week, and I did mention when you were here only a couple of weeks back that if you do get another win, you're back in the studio. You got back-to-back wins for Mount Barker United. You're here happier than ever.
Yeah, it's a fantastic week for the club, fantastic week for the Hills football in general. The Hills Hawks got a win as well, which was well-deserved and well-needed for them as well. So at least, yeah, it's a bright week for the Hills.
It is. Well, we got a lot to get through. We're going to head straight into the hot topics as we always do. But a little bit later on, we're going to announce something a little bit different I want to do after some cracking goals from the week. But let's head into those topics. Topic number one, school holidays. Just around the corner. If you're thinking, what can you do with your kids? There's something happening at Football SA. They have the FSA School Holiday Futsal Carnival. So get your kids down there to that. It's happening Thursday, 18th of July, down at the St. Clair Recreation Centre. So great little carnival to get involved in.
Yeah, great initiative as well. I mean, Football SA is always promoting youngsters getting into the sport, whether you're a referee or a player. So futsal is the best medium way to get into it. And it's not too big as well, not too taxing on your body as well. You just have a lot of fun there indoor. Yeah,
it will be fun. So make sure you take your kids out to that. Make sure you register because registration's not too far away from reaching the deadline. So get involved in that. Well, but also more football in topic number two. You can head down to Mount Barker for a nice day out in the Adelaide Hills. Talking about your Mount Barker games, but it's not actually Mount Barker United. It is the home of Mount Barker United, but hosting Adelaide United, which is playing Adelaide City this year.
Yeah, so it's an initiative they do every year, and they have a lot of the A-League players come up, do signatures as well for the kids. And what a lot of the players have talked about, and even some of the committee as well, has said how good it is to see the pitch and the stands so full as well. You never really see that as much in State League 2, but having the usually it was a double header, and you have a lot of the 18s reserve games. So many more parents, so many more fans come out there to watch, and for now as well, it's probably the only time we could see the NPL in the Hills. So
yeah. Well, hopefully in a few years' time. You're getting on your winning ways, but got still a little while to go. But it's always great. I was down there last year for the game against Croydon FC, and it was a very good buzz down there. Straight after was the State League 2 game, but I think this year's the standalone.
Yeah, so because we're playing at Mount Barker, playing Northern Demons that day, on the Saturday, they couldn't move the game from further back than 3:30 because they're coming down from Port Pirie. So the NPL game will be on a standalone fixture on a Sunday. And I think the reserves and 18s might be still on the Saturday, though.
Beautiful. Well, look out for that. Mark that in your calendar. I think it's the 21st of July. It will be good down there. Adelaide City, Adelaide United. Some big points as well in that fixture. So that'll be a very exciting match of football. Also, talking about State League 2 in topic number 3 is the James King from Metro Stars Sassel has signed, the Sassel side has signed with the Modbury Vista in State League 2.
Yeah, it was announced just earlier this week, a Division 3 Sunday player who won the Player of the Year last year, and he's signed on Modbury Vista in the State League 2. So obviously he's looking to take a step up and probably play and train more consistently. And a competitive team like Modbury Vista, who are sitting in the top 6 as well, it's a really good opportunity. And if he's a young player who's doing so well, or maybe he's done that well in the Sassel for many years, then it's a big opportunity.
Yeah, huge opportunity. Well, anyone can move up. Hopefully there's more opportunities to come with the window. I think it's still open, but only for a short period.
Yeah, I think it opens on 25th of June. So, yeah, but playing for Modbury Vista as well. Maybe we'll see him this weekend. Mount Barker hosting Modbury Vista, so might have to see firsthand how good this guy is. But I hope he does well, and I hope it's a new avenue for players to come from the Sassel and come back into State League 2 and make it more competitive.
Yep, and then work their way up into the NPL, which we'll head into now with the results on the weekend. Round 16 had some very, very interesting results. So let's take a look at those right now. With Friday night football down south, well, that win last week definitely helped them. South Adelaide, a 2-2 draw against Campbelltown City after initially going down 40 minutes with Alex Mullen scoring from a penalty kick. Wowee, they're not giving up, South Adelaide, are they?
No, well, I listened to the interviews they did before the game with our very own Mark Talbot and David Grant as well was down there, and they seemed like they were really pumped up, and they were saying we'll try and get 3 in a row undefeated and keep this streak alive, and they really did there, especially when it looked like all things were gone and done when Josh Baresi finessed that win with his left foot. But another draw for them at home. They're becoming a dangerous force, and the teams above them seem not to be winning either, so they're just climbing that gap a bit closer every week.
Well, Croydon got a 2-1 win, and when they got that win on Saturday, they were the first of the final games to be played out on the Saturday. They moved up only 5 points away from second place, which is huge for them. But now, obviously, results have gone a different way. But a massive 3 points for them. LA Comets, a 1-1 draw, very last-minute equaliser against FK Belgrade, and also Modbury Jets. They got a 4-1 win over Adelaide Olympic. So Adelaide Olympic, they got only a few more games to go to try and get out of that relegation zone. So they got a lot of hard work ahead of them. But Adelaide City, 6 from 6. They were in that relegation zone alongside South Adelaide. But they've found their form, and they're really, really just coming out firing now, aren't they?
Yeah, what a return, and that's what you expect for a team like Adelaide City. They're just about going to push to that next gear when the season really comes to that point, the tricky point of the season. They've obviously got some players that are going to come into contention now that the transfer window is officially open. And just as you said with Adelaide Olympic, I think you'll see a couple more signings, some that I've been hinted at as well, that making their way to Adelaide Olympic. So you might see some uptake in form in the next few weeks.
It should be good. We love this time of the year because a little bit of an injection of new players, so it adds a little bit of interesting taste to it. But let's actually, before we move on to the next game, we talk about Anthony Costa's been out for a very long time. We haven't seen him all season due to injury. Finally made his return, but only for 7 minutes before getting sent off.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. He's had an aggravating groin issue since preseason, and he looked like he was going to fire. He was my prediction for the top scorer in the NPL at the start of the season, but since how he was scoring in preseason, but that persistent issue has led him to be out for all this time, and he made his comeback against the team he played for so many years. Was so successful there as well, but unfortunately, just a stray boot probably in a dangerous position for a keeper just led the referee to send him off. But I think he had every right to go for the ball, and hopefully it just means that he can get more hard running on the track now and get real fired in and probably get a start next time.
Well, LA United have conceded 4 goals in the last 3 matches, and that's 4 goals each game. That was 12 leading up into this one. Now they've conceded 5 goals against Metro Stars on the weekend in a 5-1 loss. They're really hit and miss some weeks, aren't they? With this period now, with the players being out, got youngsters some weeks, they got their full strength another week. It's a little bit inconsistent at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that phrase inconsistent's been what you always talk about when you talk about Adelaide United. And last year they got the form just at the right time, and at the moment it seems like they're maybe not getting at the time they want to this week. But I think in the next few weeks they're going to have some players coming back from international duty, which they were missing. Some players who've been starting their pre-seasons with the A-League teams, stuff like that. So I think the more weeks go on, I think the better they'll get.
Yeah, and as I'm turning 40, sorry, I'm not turning 40, I'm turning 30 in a couple of days, but one man who turned 40 not long ago as well, he looks a lot fitter than me, and he scored another cracking goal on the weekend, and that is Fabian Barbiero. He's still got his fine form at the fine age of 40, but man, he's still got it.
Yeah, what a finish. A volley into the top left corner. Flicked it up for himself. Looked like he was playing in the backyard with flicks like that to set himself up for the volley. But just the goals in that game were all fantastic. Even Eduardo Castaneda, the youngster, his first senior goal for the club. It's good to see him get a little run in the team. It looked like he had been off the bench for the first half of the season and finally got his run now, and he's looked like he's making it pay off for Danny Greystone.
Absolutely. And, what a great game of football. What a great weekend of football. Some great results overall. I really enjoyed watching all of that. We got more football to talk about. No WNPL this weekend or WSL, but there was the WNPL WSL Cup. Some an upset in that. So we'll talk about that later in the show. But up next, as usual, the State Leagues. State League 1, State League 2. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we'll talk about those results. Welcome back to the local game after a short break, and it's time to head back into the local leagues. State League 1 is the next one to head into, round 16 action. Some Friday night football once again. Let's check out those results from round 16 with the Friday night action kicking it all off. West Torrens Bacala, a 3-0 win over the Adelaide Cobras, who are unable to get a win after Robbie Detroit leaving the club. A disappointing a 3-0 loss for them.
Yeah, I mean, he's had such a successful stint there at Adelaide Cobras and almost got them to the brink of NPL last year. And obviously this year results haven't gone the way he liked and probably wanted to step away at this point and see what they could do without him. And maybe he'll have a refresher and go somewhere else different. But I know they're going to get some players in the transfer window as well. But Bacala just keep on marching on and having some good form at the moment.
Certainly are. And one team that's marching all around South Australia, still homeless. It's in some certain way, with the Kilburn not available yet to move into, playing their 4th or 5th venue now as a home match. West Adelaide down at Seaford, a 1-2 loss to Cumberland United. Salisbury, a 2-1 win over the Western Strikers. Playford, a 1-0 win over Adelaide Victory. Fulham, back in winning form, a 3-0 win over Sturt, and Vipers 2-0 over Adelaide Blue Eagles. The Blue Eagles won. They're really letting slip of that early lead they were taking on top of the ladder.
Yeah, well, it's both those fixtures at the end of that list, as you mentioned. The Sturt-Fulham game where Sturt were undefeated in 5 in such great form. And Fulham probably had maybe one win in the last 5 or 6, and 3-0 win at home for Fulham was just a surprising result for everybody to see. But as you mentioned as well, Vipers 2-0 win over Adelaide Blue Eagles is a contentious one, but looked like they really had the chances going for them, and they couldn't fire at the moment, Adelaide Blue Eagles.
Yes, certainly. And also, we talk about on fire. Matt Taylor on fire, 2 goals to his name on the weekend. Now brings the total tally up to 12. And with Dante not scoring any goals as well, he's sitting in second place just behind Dante. So now he's the second most leading goal scorer in the league.
Yeah, I mean, who could have thought it? Maybe he was telling the coach for years that I'm a striker, put me up there, I'll prove it to you. And now he has this year. And Matt Gatson's 100th game as well as a coach, and they always get those wins there at Salisbury's home ground as well. So I'm sure they're going to love that, the home fans.
Yeah, and the first goal as well, the long throw in, deep into the box and headed in by Matt Taylor. Second one was a penalty, but that first one, class.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe why they've got him up there. He's a tall figure, but boy, can he use his head. He's got the leap and he's got the accuracy as well, and he really deserves to be up there and in the scoring charts as well.
Well, as we head into the State League 2 now, because it was good to see those goals from the State League 1, but State League 2 doesn't have all games filmed. It's only up to the clubs if they do stream it, which is good. There's one game that was streamed on the Friday night. We'll discuss that a bit later. That was that Friday night Eastern United Adelaide University game, a thrilling game of football. But we head to those Saturday fixtures. Adelaide Hills Hawks get a 4-2 win over Gawler Eagles. Just really shows where Gawler is at the moment. A struggle town for them, and pretty much 2 late goals for Adelaide Victory to get that. Adelaide Hills Hawks to get that win.
Yeah, hat-trick as well from Matthew Ortman as well, which is good to see for a youngster, and they're getting the goals as well. I mean, both teams have struggled to get goals, not let alone wins. So to see them both at least get a couple goals themselves, got to have some confidence going into the next few weeks.
Yeah, Noarlunga 2-1 over Modbury Vista. Modbury Vista will be waiting for their Cecil player from Metro Stars to really add in some firepower down there. They need it. Pontian Eagles 3-1 over Port Adelaide. Northern Demons unable to get a home win against Cove FC. And your boys, Mount Barker United, 2 in a row beating Seaford. Huge effort for you guys. Now you're still in 10th place, but you're in equal points on Mount Barker. but only 3 points away from Eastern United. How
Yeah, I
good's
mean,
that?
it's not just talk about our fixture as well, but Noarlunga is one I wanted to point out as well. Beating a team like Vista, who've been quite high in the table for a while. We did get to know last week that Noarlunga are playing most of their second half of the season games at home,
Yep.
as they got their new facilities there. So it's going to be a tough place to go. That grass pitch is really hard to get wins away from home as well, and you can tell by the results as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, us another win, a scrappy one as well, just a penalty to win it. But I mean, we had all the chances in the world, and their keeper had such a great game that I thought we were never going to pass him. But the former Seaford man as well, Cameron Mazigula, to score a penalty as well. And he left no doubt about it, smashing it into the top corner. But as you said as well, the goals wrap. Maybe we're going to see if we can do something at the end of this season.
Well, yeah, we should, because there is that goal on Friday night. We're going to mention it. Eastern United and Adelaide Uni. What a cracking goal in the 97th minute after the 96th minute equaliser. Just a minute later, Raf Frazina scores a cracking goal. Let's check that out now. All thanks to Eastern United streaming this game. What a goal that is. There's no stopping that, is there?
No. Well, I was just clicking off the Campbelltown game after watching that with commentary from Mark and David. And I was like, let me go check out this Eastern game. And it was 2-1, just about into added time. And there's the tensions heating up on the sidelines, a couple of yellow cards thrown about, a couple coaches' comments going around. And then you see Eastern score a last-minute equaliser, the crowd going wild.
You think that's it? 96 minutes, that's done.
You can see on their scoreboard as well, it says that it's well into the 95th, 96th, 97th, and the Adelaide Uni coach says, oh, how long's left? And then Raf Racina, aging like a fine wine. The former Eastern United, he grew up there. He told me that's the club he played when he was younger, and he probably ended his career there, and he absolutely arrowed it into the top corner.
And one thing that disappoints me, we saw a little bit of contention around goal of the week. Every week it just adds a little bit of a talking point, which is fantastic. That's what goal of the week is all about with the NPL, State League 1 and the WNPL. It's exciting, but unfortunately, because every game is not streamed, you can't really have a goal of the week. But that's why we want to implement something here, which is called, I think we're going to work out the actual name for it, but something along the lines of goal of the year for State League 2 only, where everyone can just send in their favourite goals that should be in contention. And at the end of the year, we'll choose the best one overall. And I think this one here will be one of the first ones in there. And I think we should do it. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, I even saw a couple of weeks ago, Harris Vukic of Gawler Eagles.
Yep.
Even though they're not doing too well, he's scoring free kicks for fun as a centre back. So I think you're going to see some, definite contentions in there.
Yeah, well, just all you got to do is send them through to us on Keko Media on either Facebook, Twitter, or on the local games Instagram page, or just reach out to any of us, and we'll collate them by the end of the season. Each week, even send them through so we can showcase one of them each week as well. And then at the end of the year, choose the goal of the year for the State League 2. We'll come up with a name and hopefully a prize for it as well, which would be cool, just to add some fun to the State League 2 so we can actually get more exposure of these goals out there, because they're not streamed, but we want to get the quality out there so people can see it with their eyes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of clubs got videos now, and you can always see the replays these days. And
well, you sent a couple through to us as well.
Yeah, and not even just our team, other teams as well have scored
Yeah.
some great goals as well. So it's really good to see them get the accolades as well.
Well, we're going to head to a short break shortly, but before we do, I had a quick interview this week. Let's head to that. I'm down here at Carina Reserve with the captain and coach of Sturt Lions. After a massive win, you're in the cup final. How are you both feeling? I'll go with you first, Louise. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I think it was a massive win with the girls, and we really we tried our hardest. We want to come away with something this year, and I think the cup has been really positive, and yeah, it was exciting.
And for you, Frank, to see the girls, the way they performed this year, as most people know, they haven't been able to get an actual win on the park. They have got technically 3 points from earlier in the season, but how proud are you to see them fight in the cup, knock out 3 big clubs, and now in the cup final?
Yeah, proud, very proud. The way they've conducted themselves through the tough times to come to training, their dedication, their commitment, their attitude and effort. Every week we knew coming into this season it'll be tough, but to make a final is massive for these girls, and they should be proud. You know, it was a game of football. We've played 3 tough teams, like you mentioned, and to get there is they've earned it. So we'll see what happens in the final now.
And for you, Louise, you've made your way back into the team, been out for a few weeks, but back in for that big game. How was it for you to be a part of that at that moment, and also what was it like after the game and the celebrations?
Yeah, it was definitely a big game to come back into. I had a little bit of time off. I was away with uni. So coming back into it, I was a little bit nervous, but the girls, again, really strong. I think coming away from that win against City, I think boosted everyone's spirits and confidence, and we come into it going like, we either get a week off or we go to a grand final. Like, they're both win-win. And afterwards was, I think the most excited person in our team was Leslie. She went wild. It was good.
What will happen if you go that one step further? Are you guys thinking that far ahead, or are you just going to try and go back to the league and try to get 3 points?
I think our main focus now is the league. Like, we really, really need to get a win. We need to, set the standard now that we can beat these teams in the cup. So we need to translate that into our league games. And I think we can, and it's one game at a time. And I think the grand final will come around and we'll be ready for it then. But right now it's just Friday night against Uni.
Yeah, big Friday night game. Frank, as a coach, how are you going to try and turn it around and get those results from the Cup into the WNPL?
I think after the semi-final, we have to approach every game the same way. It's pressure that probably we, in the first half of the season, that we put on ourselves, that we don't need to put on. It's about just doing what we have to do on the park and knowing what our jobs are, and hopefully that transfers into 3 points.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season, and hopefully if we ever come back to commentate, I don't get stuck in that rain once again, because that was awful. But I feel sorry for the girls. You weren't in the game.
Yeah, I was fine.
And you're probably all right.
I didn't have to worry about my hair, so yeah, it was all good. It was worth it.
Yeah, well, it definitely would have been worth it. Well, thank you. Good luck this weekend. A big game. 3 points could be massive and for you guys, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for all the work you do for the league.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Time to head to a short break. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we'll talk about the WNPL WSL Cup and the upcoming fixtures for this weekend. Plus, press for time. Don't go anywhere. It's the local game. Welcome back to the local game. Great to have you with us once again. If you're watching on Keko Media YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the action. Each week, we're getting very close to the final stages of the season, so it's getting to the important parts. And also, if you're watching on Channel 44, thank you for joining us every Friday, Saturday afternoon, or Sunday as well. A lot of times to watch us, so just sit back, enjoy the ride, and head into the finals very soon. But let's talk about the some cup finals action, because semi-final action on the weekend really showed how exciting it can be, because they put aside the league result, and sometimes it changes completely. You get some different performances, don't you?
Yeah, you definitely do. I mean, they always say magic of the cup, and in a semi-final like this, neutral venues as well, you never know what can happen. Well, pristine pitch as well, like Service FM.
It is.
The best football's played.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about the cup sets. There was almost a cup set in both fixtures, but LA Comets, let's check out the results for those two games. And the LA Comets, a 1-0 lead earlier on, Cusiona scoring that early goal, but Rachel Quigley, 81st minute, gets the equaliser and backs it up with an 88th minute winner to get West Adelaide into the final.
Well, we talked about aging like fine wine just a couple minutes ago, and obviously she did the same there. The persistence paid off, and the class was permanent for her, and sent her team into another cup final and another trophy opportunity for her.
Yep, very, very good performance from West Adelaide. They're firing in the league. Comets, another good team as well, but it would have been a little bit of a cup set, knocking them out because of West Adelaide's so very good form in the league at the moment. But unfortunately, for Comets' sake, they've had to miss out on the final this year. But West Adelaide just doing a great job but they may find their match in that cup final. Who knows? As the next game, Sturt, which was the first game of the weekend, Sturt, despite not getting a win in the local league officially, they've got that 3 points that they got against Comets due to an error that was gifted them the 3 points, but they're really proving their performance in the cup with another win. They're into the final, a 2-1 win. What a massive cup set that is.
Yeah, unbelievable for them as well. I think it possibly could be the first senior side from either Sturt men or women to make a cup final. So it's a massive occasion for the club as well. And I think some of those young girls there, under the guidance of Frank Tibaldi, a legend himself, a cup hero himself for White City back in the day. So hopefully, I think he's going to try and lead his women onto a big stage.
Yeah. Well, I was down at the club when they got that 6-all draw against Adelaide City, and just talking to them as well. It's for a club that hadn't scored since round 4. They don't really seem like it's affecting their confidence as much as you probably assume it would be, because they're still got their mind set on getting into the final, and to be able to do that against Adelaide City, that also would have just reinforced that confidence going into this match. Florence Russell, obviously having a little bit of a drought in the scoring sense, getting that the opening goal in the 51st minute, but Nina Yamada, 83 minutes. It's late goals after 80 minutes. They're exciting times this year, isn't it? It's a very common thing that's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had Ali Atkins on the show last week saying that form against her side in that 6-all draw would probably project them onto a positive performance on the weekend on the Sunday in the Cup semi-final. And she was right. It was an excellent performance from Sturt Lions, and the big names of their team really paid off at the right moment. I mean, Florence Russell was a massive player for them last season in helping them get promoted, and now some of their imports in Yamada has been the difference maker to take them to the Cup final.
Well, this weekend they got to turn it around. They got another game on Friday night. So let's take a look at those upcoming fixtures for this weekend. It's round 12 in the Go Sunny Solid WNPL. LA Uni, so Trimboli side will be taking on, hosting Sturt Lions. So they got to try and turn it around this weekend, and hopefully that could bring a good performance against Uni this weekend.
Well, we just talked about South Adelaide and the start of the show, talking about how they didn't have a good run for the first few games in such a while, but they went 3 undefeated. So I think Sturt are going to look to do the same in the Women's League and try and get 3 undefeated themselves. Against the Adelaide Uni side, have been a bit topsy-turvy. They've been probably one of the closer teams to them in the league. So if they want to get anything out, it's got to be this game.
Let's head into the RAA NPL SA for this weekend. Round 17. It's the last round before we head into a break, as the Cup final for the men's is not too far away on the weekend of the 6th of July. But round 17, some big fixtures to go and attend this weekend. Friday night football, Parry Hills Knights taking on FK Belgrade, and Campbelltown City, Adelaide City, Battle of the Italians Friday night. You and I will be in the commentary box for that one. Battle of the Italians commentating. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, hopefully there's no battle in the commentary booth, but you're on lead this week, so I'll let you take it. The reins.
It should be good, and always a plate of pasta after the games. Always doesn't go astray down there at Campbelltown City. Raiders against Adelaide Comets. Raiders, they've been well the last few weeks. However, they just lost on the weekend against Adelaide City. A loss. Adelaide Comets, a strong team, still in the top 4. However, struggling with a lot of injuries at the moment. Welsh is out now for the rest of the rest of the season due to a knee injury that he sustained during the Cup semi-final.
Rabona,
yep.
Roberto Garrido as well. They've got the tally's listing up, but I mean that's going to be some big ins for the youngsters as well. You see a couple of debuts in the recent weeks as well. Yeah,
Oscar Slattery's done well. Slotted himself into making his starting debut only 2 weeks ago against Parry Hills, and then backed it up against FK Belgrade again, and great performance from him as well.
Yeah, youngster Panagotis, I think, made his debut as well, and obviously Ikonomopoulos is now taking that reign as a central striker, and he's not too shabby himself in front of goals. I mean, he's had some goal of the week contenders, and last year especially had some wild finishes outside the box.
He's finished on the weekend. I did give it to him in the commentary box. However, I realised straight afterwards that it actually deflected off Jalen Labasso's chest, so... He knows how to use his chest, Jaden Labasso, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, especially him as well. He's been a leader from the Comets for this season as well. He's had the armband a few times, and I saw the first time last year when he made the jump to be in the midfield or on the wing in the front three as well. So it's good to see him getting more attacking as well.
And we know where he's come from with his personal stuff over the years. So to see him at the point he's at now after those just only not even 2 years ago, where we didn't know if we would make it back to full-time football, but he has, and he's doing a great performance. So you can actually hear that story if you want to go back to it as well and really know what that story was all about in Kicking It Local. So look for Jaden Labasso on that podcast, and you can hear that story, inspiring story, and it's great to see where he's at now and where he was back then. It's inspirational. Anyway, well, we're almost about to wrap up the show, but before we do, press for time. It's a staple, and in terms of Pagonis, a staple in local football in South Australia. What will we do without him? Let's have a listen to what he has in store for us this week.
Bit of movement with South Australians overseas, Johnny, with Musa Toure officially joining Claremont from Adelaide United, while Isaac Carmody's got a trial at Dundee FC in Scotland. Meanwhile, back in our state, Austin Ayubi has signed a 2-year extension with Adelaide United after a very impressive last year with Metro Stars and a good first stint with Adelaide United this season.
Well, that is all this week. My last show in my 20s. Next week, I'll be a 30-year-old. But anyway, great to have you once again, Alessio. It's been a pleasure having you on board.
It's been a pleasure to be back here as well and talking some more football. We've had the games have been a treat the last few weeks, so it's not too hard to make some stories about them.
No, definitely not. Don't forget, we want to hear those. We want to see those goals from the State League 2. We can't have all eyes on there because it's not streamed. So you got to send them to us. Reach out to us either below or just reach out to our personal Instagrams, and we'll try and feature some goals of the week contenders from the State League 2 every week. Have a great weekend. That is all from the show. We'll see you all next week. See you later, Alessio. Make a 3 from 3 this week.
We'll see.
We'll see you all next week. We're heading into our 20th episode next week. Have a great weekend. That's all from the local game.